What have you guys found to be the most successful, keys to success to adopting or implementing a metric as complicated and robust and meaningful as enterprise marketing return?
I think what comes to mind for me is discipline. Like, it does take some discipline, and especially from top level leaders, to get aligned on there is one metric, one kind of collective outcome that we're going to drive the business towards, and that takes discipline. And I think, and part of that discipline too is being comfortable with a little bit of that loss of precision. Like, again, if it's actionable, if you're moving in the right direction and you have the discipline on that, getting down to the nth degree of pennies, again, on a weekly basis. So that discipline comes to mind, discipline and alignment.
And I think progress over perfection mindset.
Yeah.
That in collaboration with the finance teams. Because you talk about a world of last touch ROAS, and the marketing teams are going, hey, we hit a $35 last touch ROAS last week, and finance teams there's no way. If we're really doing a 35 ROAS, we should be spending money all day long, and you haven't convinced me, so I'm not giving you more money. So the collaboration with the finance teams to say, come along with us to design a test that you buy into that will show the entire enterprise return if we design this test this way, that'll drive belief in the finance teams to say, okay, this new metric you're talking about, I saw the whole business move at the same rate that this new measurement system we're talking about says it moved. I'm now bought in. And now, to your point, where are we seeing success? We have some clients that are so bought in between marketing and finance that we're starting to see the CFOs come into the room and say, we're not spending enough because we're leaving profit on the table, all the way back down to profit and margin. And it's that's when there's alignment, and that's when the finance team truly believes marketing's a growth driver.
I think the other piece that's really important for us when we're introducing enterprise marketing return to a client is that acknowledgement of it's a journey, and knowing that those 4 components of EMR, enterprise sales, incrementality, future customer value, and profitability, you can't do all 4 of those at once necessarily. So sometimes what I've found helps with clients when you have a champion, when you have alignment, is you pick one and you say, let's make progress against one, and then make that progress and then say, okay, we're feeling really good and confident on how we're valuing the different incremental value of our channels. Now let's start talking about future customer, and then you layer that on. So I think the acknowledgement that it's progress over perfection, it's a journey, and kind of take things one at a time will sometimes relieve the pressure off of clients when they're like, this EMR thing sounds great, but it's really complicated. How the heck are we going to do all of this at once? And you just say, you don't have to. Let's start with one pillar.
What do you think are the biggest challenges in some of the methodologies needed to produce what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think, when we're looking at a metric like EMR, there's a lot of modeling involved. And I think that, modeling is great, it's valuable, and it's actionable. But something that we want to do is ensure that that model is tethered to reality, right? And I think a big challenge that we see is, how do we get that model checked on a regular basis? So we really encourage a lot of in-market testing, whether that be geographic, whether that be at the individual level, to understand how we can unlock the true value of incrementality, as well as customer, as well as other sort of performance metrics that go into EMR.
Yeah, the truest measure of incrementality is still testing.
Yep.
And that goes back to discipline to me too, and you kind of said it, you have to be thinking about the measurement kind of from the beginning too, and designing so you can measure something. I see a lot of kind of the lack of discipline in that, and then it's okay, we just introduced 100 new variables and we ran this thing. Can you measure it? And it's okay, yeah, we can get a read, but if we would have designed that a little bit better. And so strong believer in the testing.